What's up, YouTube? This is D1, one half of the Angry White Man. And I got a video coming for you, YouTube. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this Tank Davis situation. But first, I'd like you to hit the like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Today, I read a tweet that said Tank Davis offered Rayo Valenzuela a contract at 35, so they turned it down because they're the 140 champion. I don't know about y'all, but I think boxing fans are starting to forget how this really goes, because people, you know how they are with Tank. It's the heavy is the head that wears the crown deal with him. So if he's not fighting their top favorite guy, then he's not fighting anybody. And which I get that. And I want Tank to fight all these guys. I want him to fight Shakur, Devin. He needs as many big name opponents as he can get. So I'm not mad if it is Lamont Roach. I mean, Rayo Valenzuela doesn't want to fight. What's wrong with asking you to come to 135 to possibly get the top spot in boxing? Because this is how boxing goes. Like, everybody praised Triple G for staying at middleweight, and everybody went to Triple G. How come it's not the same with Tank? How come you guys don't want to go to where Tank's at and go get that bag? I mean, Rayo's situation, he's got a rematch with Pitbull, in which I'm sure he has to honor that. Nobody's ever gotten out a signed rematch clause ever in the sport. I mean, there's been a couple arguments for trying to say that people have got that, but nah. We have to, as fans, remember how this sport goes. Tank is the top draw, like him or not. Like, he's never unified, he's never done this, never done that. And truth be told about the matter, if Tank wanted to unify, the sanctioning bodies would gladly oblige that young man. They want their 2% out of a Tank check. That much I know for certain. That part of boxing hasn't changed and never will change. It will probably just go up. And you wonder why these kids don't want to go for undisputed and unified. And don't get me wrong, I want Tank to unify. I want him to unify the entire 35 division. If that's where you're going to stay and that's where you're going to campaign, go get them straps, champ. Even if you vacate them afterwards, just go get them to say you did it, because your ticket sales ain't going to carry you 20 years from now. I mean, you're popular as all hell, so I guess it probably doesn't matter. You end up being like Mike Tyson, be the most popular lightweight ever to walk the planet, and he's arguably the best lightweight to ever walk the planet. If you know what you're looking at and you're not just putting up goalposts to be a hater, you know what you see. How you win in boxing has always mattered, and the way he wins is much, much more impressive than any one of his cohorts. The other guys like to talk about how they'll dismantle and disrupt and do damage to another guy, but when then they get in there, they can't even, it's not even close to what they say. So how you win in boxing always mattered. And remembering how this shit goes, Tank doesn't have to leave 135 to oblige Devin Haney or oblige Rayo Valenzuela. The opportunity of a Tank fight, the opportunity to beat him, I get it if you can't make the weight anymore. I get that. It's all good. Move up. I'm encouraging you to move up, because those weight cuts probably rob us as boxing fans of a whole lot more. And you go to the well one too many times, you end up like Devin Haney. Or I know that was because the Austrian. That's a bad example. I'll pull that one out of it. You get what I'm saying. But us as boxing fans, we can't be telling Tank to go anywhere and do anything for anybody. He's the top draw in the sport. Either you go get him or you don't go get him. And most of the guys that are screaming Tank's name and send me a contract and all that extra shit, you want probably 10 million, 6 million. We know that for sure. We know you at least 6 million, and you're the guy too. Man, whatever happened to glory? Whatever happened to these guys wanting to go get the top draw spot because he's that? Because he in America, he's our face of boxing. Where are all the guys that say they want to fight Tank when there was nothing going on just a little while ago? Nobody there, nobody saying nothing. Mum was the word. 0 words called out at Tank. Now you know he's behind scenes and sending contracts and meaning business. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Mum's the word. I can't believe that neither. If I was... Floyd Schofield's the only one yelling and screaming Tank's name. Acting like we never seen him fight before. We seen you fight your last couple fights, Schofield. Stop it. You'll get sparked out. And if I'm Tank, I'd send your ass a contract just because. Your daddy's too sassy. Get knocked out for real. And you know it, running around on everybody's podcast, wherever you can get in, where you fit in, trying to dog this dude. And Elijah Pierce, too. FOH Elijah Pierce. Talking about Tank was bigger than me in that sparring. What are you talking about, kid? You're the same exact size as him, but you're a whole foot taller. Probably outweighed Tank by 30 pounds in there. Over here, you got off in sparring. So what? That's not under the lights with all the crowd and everything that comes with them lights. And believe me, the OTX lights ain't nothing like the big dog's lights. So you can talk that good game and you can say, oh, Tank's not no unbeatable guy to us. We seen him get knocked out in sparring, knocked down in sparring. That's sparring. It's practice. And if you're any sort of an elite fighter, you're not in the gym going as hard as you can sparring. You're out of shape sometimes. You just ran a couple miles. There's a million things that can happen in sparring that makes sparring just sparring. So you guys out here trying to claim little victories because you've seen somebody get done a certain way in sparring, or you got off a certain way in sparring, it's a whole different ball game in those 8s. And all these guys should be wanting to go get Tank. So shout out to the Schofields for actually calling him out, but we got to call cap on what you say. Stop the cap, my boy. We all know what would happen in a Tank fight, and we all seen your last fights, guys. Let's just stop with the BS. Acting like sparring, something more than sparring. All of you 135 pounders, 130, that ain't calling Tank's name from the top of a mountain, y'all crazy. I wish I could make that weight. Shit. I'd have been yelling and screaming Tank's name to bloody, they would have had to pull me down. They would have had to block me off all his social media accounts, especially when he got free. That's when all of y'all got quiet. And then he sends contracts, signs up a fight, and then all y'all back here chasing clout again. Tio was the first one to jump out the window and start clout chasing Tank after he found out he was in negotiations with El Rayo and possibly Lamont. Perfect timing by you too, by the way. You know what I mean? Just keeping the clout chase going, keeping it a buck. So I'm eager to find out what Tank's next fight. Let's stop forgetting how this works as boxing fans. Let's remember that the top dog is the top dog. You got to go to him. Stop with all the capping and come with some real call-outs. I'm D1, one half of Angry White Man. Like, share, subscribe, and check out the rest of the shows on the JBT network. And I'm going to play this for you right now. I'll show you our lineup.
Check out all the shows of the JBT, starting with BBO TV, weekday mornings at 6:30 a.m., followed by Hardcore Boxing News at 8. At 2 p.m., it's Cass Sports, the Boxtorian. And at 4 p.m., it's on the Just Do Boxing. At 8 p.m., it's back to BVO TV, Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Friday nights, it's the Hangout, the Hardcore Hangout. At 9 p.m., it's the Rise Podcast. We also have specials. On Wednesdays at 10 a.m., it's Let's Talk Fashion. And at 1 p.m., it's Boxing Talk with Banky and Jay. Friday mornings at 10 a.m., it's The Casuals. Friday nights at 10 p.m., it's The Angry White Men. Also, watch out for Real Prison Talk with Tommy and The Casuals Corner.
Yeah, that's our lineup at the JBT. There's also another new lineup member. His name is BN Boxing News. He's been a part of us. Just now he'll be hitting you with some more content. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you for tuning in to the Angry White Man.